Hello everybody, welcome back to week 2 of my acrylic journey. So I got the new powder and Warm Blush Pink. Look at that, is that not a lovely colour? And I also got the monomer, but the monomer bottle lid wasn't on properly, so it leaked. But to be fair, as soon as I contacted customer services, she's dispatched another bottle straight away, no questions asked, because of the leakage, so that's good. So I'm going to pick up where I left off last week and do the same thing with this. Make sure it's the same, it's going to work the same way, and I'm still going to have the same consistency with a different powder. So we're going to take all the liquid off and we're going to tap once for a small bead, which doesn't look all that small, to be honest with you. I'm not going to do 4 each again this week. I'm just going to I'll do 1 each first and see. And then if we're doing a medium bead, we want to take it off halfway up the brush, and we're going to dip 2 times. Let it set out a wee minute. Maybe it is quite a small bead after all. Now, a couple of people have commented on last week's video saying that they're going to try this method because they can't get the consistency to work properly for them. So if anybody does try it, please let us know how you got on. Even if you comment in this video and let everybody know how you managed. Did it help? Is this method good for you as well? Right, we're going to only take off the tip of the brush and we're going to dab 3 times. So the method seems to still work exactly the same way, but we're going to do another row of each just to make sure that I am managing the consistency. And then I've cut down a few tips. I'm not ready to work on really long tips yet, so I've cut down a few. And we're going to have a bash at putting some acrylic on tips this week and see how we got on. But as I say, I want to do another row of this, but I'll probably speed it up. I won't make you watch this whole thing again. I'll speed it up for this one.
I got more than just words. I got more than just words. You bring me songs sweet like the bird.
Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. This is a slow set monitor. I'm not even going to correct myself. But this room is roasting. It's really warm in here. What is that? No idea what that was. However, okay, so we're going to try on the first tip, we're just going to put some on the edge first and see what happens. Or do we start at the cuticle, do you think? Oh, decisions. Right, no, I'm going to start halfway down. So we're going to take a medium bead, I think. Yeah, let's do that. 1, 2, and let's start it here. Concentration on my face. If you could see me, I've actually got my tongue out with concentration, I think. Okay, I didn't manage to pull that down as far as I would like. However, let's put a bead on the tip and try and fix the tip. That seems to be working okay. And obviously once it sets you would be getting that file or a buff. So it's not like you would be left with all this lumpiness. But then we have to do, let's take another medium bead and go here. Yeah, that's really quite lumpy bumpy. Thank goodness for files, eh? Where would we be without files? Although I've watched some texts and they could just do it and they barely need to touch the nail with a file because they've done that good a job at application. Okay, so I'm going to take a medium bead again because I don't think we need too much. Try and nudge it up there. And gently swipe it over so that we can make an apex. Obviously it's a bit messy and it is kind of bumpy and there's maybe not enough acrylic there, so let's see if we can, in fact no, we'll leave that one as is. And it's not too thick, maybe it could be doing a wee bit more there to allow for filing. What do you think? Should I have a wee bit more at the tip? Then that'll give me space for filing and perfecting. But however, we'll leave that one there and we'll go on to a new tip. And I'm just going to do the same thing, but I'm going to try working from the bottom, from the cuticle up and see how we got on that way. But I'm going to stick with medium beads, I think, at least for the time being. But I want to see what way is going to be easier for me to do, whether start with the cuticle or start in the middle or start at the tip. Okay, so far so good. I'm thinking that probably wouldn't need as much filing because I don't have as much bulk on it. But here again I've got to swipe that backwards to blend it, haven't I? So that might add a wee bit bulk. I'm not sure what I'm doing with this brush because I seem to be wrecking it fairly quickly. Well, I don't know if I'm wrecking it or if it just seems like I'm wrecking it. Then we'll take a medium one again because you could always file it off if it's too bulky. And we'll finish at the tip. Sometimes I forget I need to clean my brush in between patting and swiping. I think I like starting for the cuticle better. at least until I get the hang of it more. I think that's slightly neater, but we'll compare them at the end. And then with the last one, I'm going to start from the tip and blend backwards. I don't think that's going to be a favourite method because I've only seen a couple of texts do it that way, and I don't think it's all that popular, so I'm assuming it's not as easy or not as effective, or I don't know, maybe it's just personal preference, but we're going to give it a go and see what it's like starting from the tip. So let's just clean this brush and give the powder a wee shake. What do you think of the colour of this powder? Isn't it lovely? I think it would go really well with my skin tone as well. Okay, so again we're still going to take a medium bead and we'll plonk it on the end. Obviously this wouldn't be the same as doing it on a person's finger because I can't just turn the whole hand around like that. Well, I probably can, but it wouldn't be as easy. So I'm assuming if you're starting for the tip, the key is to get it blended back nicely so that you're not going to have a shadow line. Is that what you call it, a shadow line? I think that's maybe going to be too wet. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Sometimes when I'm patting it, I tend to forget to swipe as well. I'm just trying to pat it. And then I remember, oh, I need to swipe it down the nail to keep it even. Oh, that looks not too bad. What do you think of that? Yeah, it's a wee bit bumpy here, but I can fix that with a file. And then here is where you would have the apex for the strength and structure. And let's finish at the cuticle. I don't think I had quite enough on there. I think I maybe needed a bigger bead, but we can add more. Again, that's all going to be a learning curve, trial and error. Okay, so I definitely need a wee bit more. But I think we just need a small bead. Sorry, I'm concentrating. I tend to not talk very much when I'm concentrating. It's a bit thin there, eh? What's going on with my brush? I'm not going to file on camera because you all know filing on camera is an absolute nightmare. So I probably won't file these if I'm completely honest. I'm going to leave these be as my first application onto a tip. Because last week I didn't keep this. I didn't keep the wee bits that I practiced with. I didn't really see the point. I know there's acrylic in that brush. I saw it. How do I get that out? if it's not just coming out. Oh, maybe it is it. Let's put that down first. Oh, maybe it is it. Maybe I'm just imagining things. Okay, that's alright then. So, let's put the lid on this before I spill it everywhere and have a wee look at these tips. Okay, so this is the first one, which is, I don't think it's thick enough here at the tip. Sorry, am I zoomed in too much? Am I a wee bit too close, do you think? Let's take you up a wee bit. So you can see there's shadow lines on this one. So that's obviously not good. And I've managed to get it underneath, which obviously would come off with a file, so it's no a great disaster. It's too thin here, and it would need filed there. And I don't know where I've got the bits of glitter from. I've no idea. And then on our second one, where we started from the cuticle, that's got less shape, but it's thicker at the tip, so it would need filed more down here. And I maybe would need to build it up more at the apex, if it was on a real nail, to give it more strength. Because even by the time I file that down a wee bit, you're not going to have much of a bump. And then on our third one, there's the bump, but I'm not sure about placement. I've not managed to get it in a very good shape, so it would need a lot of filing, I think. But they're all going to need a lot of filing. I'm just starting, for goodness sake. But I like the thickness at the tip with this one. I don't think that's too bad at all. And I haven't got it too much down the side of the nails. So, what do you think worked out better? Starting for the middle, starting for the cuticle, or starting for the tip? There they're from the top. And then down the barrel. Side views. What do you think? What's your method? How do you do it? And what have you found is an easier way to make sure you get an even application all the time? So that's us for the second week. I'm not going to push it any further than that. I think that's quite enough. Because if I get carried away, I may end up getting frustrated, and I don't want that, because I really just want to take it at a pace that I'm happy with and able to keep going with, and not get pissed off and dump it. So, let me know what your style of beads are, where you start from, if you manage with short tips or are you better with longer tips, because I'll maybe go a bit longer next week and see how we got on. I might even put it on my Evie hand next week. That'll be a wee treat. I'll never get it off, but hey ho. So yeah, that's it for week 2. Thank you so much for watching and helping me. Jump in with any tips that you may have, and I'll see you next week. Bye!
You bring me songs sweet like the birds, so I got more